We need to save the planet, and we need to stop eating cows. I bet you heard that statement before, and may have even gone more plant-based to reduce cow farts. But did you do the right thing? Well, let me give you a different perspective. Did you know that a well-managed ranch can literally suck tons of carbon from the atmosphere? It's because of the cows that are on the pasture. Cows on the pasture are far more effective in greening the environment than the tree you planted on the street or the carbon taxes you paid to the government. I bet you haven't heard that from the media. Cows on pasture are the key to keeping the planet green. You may have not thought about it, but fields of grasses are like massive processing plants that clean up the atmosphere from carbon dioxide. Grasslands are huge carbon sinks. That means they pick up atmospheric CO2 and after processing it, they deposit pure carbon in the soil. That is vital because carbon massively improves fertility of the land. Grasslands are the third most efficient carbon sinks after wetlands and boreal forests. Grasslands even beat temperate and tropical forests in their carbon dioxide processing efficiency. Look at this. A small ranch like ours can offset a carbon footprint of close to 100 people. And not just carbon-conscious people, but individuals with a large carbon footprint. You don't believe it? Here are the details. The USA has one of the largest carbon footprints in the world. An average American produces about 16 tons of carbon dioxide every year. 16 tons of carbon dioxide is equal to 4.5 tons of pure carbon. Our ranch can sink that. Not only that, we can sink 100 times more. How? Well, we inherited a very poor soil. Our soil is yellow, which means it's carbon poor. Carbon-rich soil is black. We'll be working towards blackening the soil, or in other words, we'll be working on increasing carbon concentration in the land. Our primary goal is not so much removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, this has very little consequence to you, but to increase soil fertility of the land by enriching the soil with carbon, which has huge implications to your health. Oh yeah? But if carbon is so important for the soil, why don't we just buy a truckload of coal and dump it on the parcel? Wouldn't that be simpler? No, because that's not how carbon gets into the soil. The only way to enrich the soil with carbon is to boost its organic matter. Organic matter is all those once living organisms that are now dead and decomposing into humus. So if we want to pack the soil with carbon, we can't just spread coal lumps on the land. We need to go through the trouble of enriching the soil with high-quality organic matter. For that, we need efficient, reliable organic matter producers. And by that I mean ruminants, like cows and sheep that pee, poo, trample, and dig. Currently, our soil is about 1.5% of organic matter. That is low. Fertile soil is about 7% organic matter. You will know when you find a 7%er because it's black. And it's soft, crumbly, and earth-smelling. Besides, it doesn't dry out or get soggy. That's the soil that provides an ideal environment for all the plants and the microbes living underground. Now, here's the thing. Half of organic matter by weight is pure carbon. That means 1 hectare with 7% of organic matter holds 250 tons of pure carbon, which once were 900 tons of carbon dioxide. However, as of today, our soil holds only 60, not 250 tons of carbon per hectare. It's because it has very little organic matter. But nothing is lost. Once our cows are grazing on the land and we manage them well, we can add those missing 200 tons of carbon to every hectare. It's not going to be a fast job though. If we do everything right, we can add about 1% of organic matter per year. That means we can add about 40 tons of pure carbon to each hectare. What if we have 10 hectares? Well, 10 hectares mean we can add 400 tons of pure carbon or suck 1,500 tons of carbon dioxide from air every year. Nice numbers, But what does it actually mean? It means that a 10-hectare regenerative farm can offset a carbon footprint of about 30 heavily polluting households, or it can offset the use of about 720 gasoline-powered cars. Now you're in the know. Not all cows are bad, and not all farms pollute. Whether a farm has a positive or negative carbon footprint depends on the type of the management. Have a look. Big farms that focus on maximizing profit aren't interested in reducing any carbon footprint. They aren't interested in putting carbon in the soil and making soil more fertile. They don't need to. They use chemical fertilizer to compensate for lack of organic matter. Chemical fertilizers are very effective short-term solution to increase yield, but they are very bad long-term solution for the planet. They reduce organic matter, impoverish the soil, and kill the ecosystem. So chemical treatment of the soil is bad for the environment, and it's bad for you too. It's because the plants grown on poor soil are of poor quality. That in turn means that your meal won't be nutritious and your health won't be good. Regenerative farming is different. Regenerative farming is all about putting carbon in the soil and making land more fertile. Regenerative farming is about increasing not just food quantity, but also quality. And because of the respect for the carbon cycle, regenerative farmers boast negative carbon footprint. Regenerative farming is not only good for the environment, it is also great for your health. When food comes from fertile soil, your meals will be nutrient-dense and your body will end up being well-nourished. So instead of removing meat from your menu, make friends with a few responsible farmers and ranchers in your area. By buying directly from such farms and ranches, you can contribute to making soil more fertile and making the plants and animals far healthier and more robust. And don't forget that food grown on such farms can provide a massive boost to your health, thanks to the abundant organic matter that enriches the soil with nutrients that otherwise would be lacking. And one more thing, by supporting regenerative practices, you aren't just blackening the soil or making yourself better off. You're also taking carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Maybe that's important for you too. So whatever your motive, let the cows do their magic with organic matter, so you and the planet can stay healthy and strong.